take me to the sphere. This is FSD 12.5. This is my second trip with this version so far. My first impressions today were insanely good. So we're going to see how well it does at night tonight. And we're going to test it out going downtown Las Vegas. Smooth, unprotected left turn there. See if I can do this entire trip without having to touch the steering wheel for the steering wheel nut. Notice stopping at red lights and stop signs have been a lot smoother, as well as taking off from green lights are a lot smoother. It's not as much of a jolt off the start line as it used to be. Got a yellow light here. Smoothly decelerates. Yeah, that was perfect. Very comfortable. For this trip, I've got us on the average driving profile. very smooth left turn. Smoothly turning into the right lane. This lane ends though, so it'll need to self-correct, which it did. Now we need to go right at this light. It's stopping right at the line and then proceeding to creep forward for visibility. And went around that puddle right there and put on the left turn signal while doing that. That was very impressive. That's something new. I've never seen it go around a puddle in the road before. That might have been on previous versions, but that's just something I've never experienced. Feels very comfortable here. I'm very much a fan of 3 to 5 over on city streets. I think that's very common for the road types and for traffic and avoiding any conflict with other drivers. I gotta say, not touching the wheel completely changes this experience. I've got my hands, both of my hands on each knee, and so they're right by the steering wheel. I can grab it, take over as soon as I feel there's something wrong, or if I see a situation that's coming up that I know might be a little bit challenging, I'll go ahead and put my hands on the wheel. But other than that, it completely improves this experience just to sit here and let this car drive for me. Not have to worry about looking at the screen for when it's telling me to adjust the wheel. So many times during the middle of a turn, or while the car's creeping for a turn and I'm looking to see if it's clear, it used to beep at me and say, put turning force on the wheel. And over time got really good at that, but that's something that's not very intuitive in the very beginning when you're first trying these FSD versions out. So having this ability where we have active driver monitoring and not having to touch the wheel, that's going to make the transition experience for new users to FSD so much easier. You know, switching from driving yourself to letting the car drive you is not as easy, and it can be a little bit nerve-wracking the very first day. I would say within one day you get used to it, but for that first day, having this driver monitoring, looking at my eyes instead of me having to tug on the wheel, is going to make that first day so much easier for new users. So I'm really stoked about this. And that's just for new users. I mean, people like everybody else, it just completely transforms this experience. Alright, I'm going to go through this green light here, and then we can see we've got some construction up ahead. So we'll see how the car handles this. And it switches into the left lane here. Handled that perfectly. We've got a detour ahead, and it's perfectly following this detour. So it's got us going straight through this road here on the map, but straight is closed. So it looks like we have a detour going to the left and to the right, although it looks like the detour sign is pointing left. So I don't know if we lucked out or not, but the car chose the correct. So I'm going to get ready here. It's got the left blinker on. It should turn here. And it is. So I didn't have to do anything there. It just handled that completely on its own. And it hesitated there. We had a person. Okay, so we're getting over into the left. I don't know why we got to the left lane here. We need to get back over to the right. There it goes. So it's recalculating itself right now. Still zero input from me. I'm letting the car do everything on its own. We're entering the freeway now. The release notes for FSD 12.5 did mention that in an upcoming release we will see the FSD 12 end-to-end training for highways as well. But on this current version, it's going to switch over to the old stack. Right now we're still on Automax, so I assume we're still on FSD 12 until we get on the highway completely here. Okay, merging onto the highway, and then we should see this switch to 72 miles per hour or so. There it goes. So now you can see it's on set to a 72 max speed. That's telling me to pay attention to the road because I looked at the screen. But as soon as I look at the screen, that warning goes away. downtown Las Vegas up ahead of us. Here's the scenario where it's switching over into the fast lane to pass this truck. I wouldn't have done that. We've got our exit coming up in 2 exits, but as long as we can pass, that's fine. I also try not to judge this version on the highway too much because it's the old stack. We don't have end-to-end training for the highway yet, so we'll see that in the future test. But it handled that really well. No issues. Dry wipe there. Now we're merging over behind this Tesla. There was a car coming up on the right that did not want to let us over. So that's why you saw it do this move to get out of the way for a second. But it handled that safely and smoothly. We've got an emergency vehicle all the way in the left lane. So it did not show up as an emergency vehicle on there. The behavior is fine staying in the right lane. That's what we should have done here, but it wasn't because of that vehicle. It just happened to work out that way. Okay, now we're getting off at Spring Mountain to head towards the Sphere. you're ever in Vegas or visiting Vegas, definitely go check out the Sphere. It is otherworldly. Alright, it's really smoothly handling all the merging traffic here on the Strip. Okay, we're coming up on the Sphere right here. And it looks like we might have a lane closed up ahead. Might need to merge, I'm not sure. I see cones, but I'm not sure if we need to merge or not. So we'll see. Looks like we might be alright. Okay, we need to merge over now. Perfectly merges at the last second. And we'll be turning right here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. We're at the Sphere. Let's see how well it does taking us to Mandalay Bay from here now. Take me to Mandalay Bay. Okay, we've got a bus blocking the lane here. So like everybody else, we're slowly moving around the bus perfectly. Handled that perfectly. You can see the link up ahead as well. Okay, we've got a right turn here, but we've got traffic stopped. Looks like it's starting to move, so we're pulling out now. Perfect. Perfectly handled that left turn in the middle of 3 left turn lanes with the motorcycle right to the left of us. I mean, the smoothness and the confidence of this is just, there's no words that can explain it. Elon, you really need to do a free trial of this. Tesla, if you're watching, do a free trial of FSD 12.5. This is insane. Okay, we've got emergency vehicles here. I almost had to hit the brake there, but the emergency vehicle triggered the light. So that really worked out in our favor here. Got a couple cops to the right going crazy. Typical Las Vegas Strip. a green light now. I need to merge over to the right. I would do it behind this car if I were you. Okay, good job. Perfect. It's like it's listening to my thoughts. This is one of the improvements that I'm really noticing the most, that was really uncomfortable from FSD 12.3.6 was in FSD 12.5 now. Whenever it chooses a double turn lane, it sticks with it. It doesn't do any shimmies or dancing in between both lanes. It doesn't give me the sense that it's indecisive. It gives me the feeling that it's confident, it knows what lane it wants to be in. So that's a huge improvement. There's so many improvements on this, it's hard to even, like, I guess that's what you get when you jump 2 minor versions. Okay, this left lane ends up ahead, so we need to let these cars in. Perfect. Really smooth. Gave enough space. Very preemptively got into this left lane, which it looks like a lot of the vehicles are doing here, so very good. We've got a cab on the left that's not letting us in. That's fine, we've got a double turn lane here. Perfect left turn. Very much sticking with the flow of traffic here. I really like this. Okay, we've got a blinking yellow up ahead. Let's see how well it handles this. Perfect. Very smoothly waited until after the intersection to change lanes. It was handled really well. Got a Waymo to the left. Perfectly handled that gap in traffic right there. Got some small speed bumps here. Going a little bit fast over them. Slowing down because of the cab in front of us, which is good. The speed bumps were a little fast. Okay, getting over to the right to make a right turn. Here we are, Mandalay Bay. 0 interventions, 0 touching the wheel, 0 disengagements, 100% enjoying the ride. Okay, I'm gonna end this trip. Take me to the Aliante Library. Alright, well, that's the trip. I was able to go from my area of town all the way down to the Las Vegas Sphere. 0 interventions, 0 disengagements. I was able to, we've got pedestrians crossing the crosswalk here. I was able to then go from the Sphere to Mandalay Bay. 0 interventions, 0 disengagements, 0 touching the wheel. And now I'm going to head back to my area of town. And I'm just going to assume it's going to be 0 interventions, 0 disengagements, and 0 touching the wheel. I've already encountered road closures with a detour. It handled perfectly on its own. Lane closures handled perfectly on its own. Slowing down here to let this cab out because he's poking out. He waved to us, said thank you. I don't know what else to say about this. You all are going to have to experience this. And I really hope this goes to the entire Tesla fleet. I really hope we can do a free trial at the minimum to get people excited about this, because this version is insane. I'm just gonna leave it on. I'll leave the camera on. We're gonna get like, I don't know, over an hour of footage of driving around all over local Las Vegas, the highways of Las Vegas, down on the strip of Las Vegas, all around town, then headed back, and just so you can see that this car, it had, for this entire drive, has been fully autonomous. I've been here to make sure everything's safe, but I haven't done anything. This has been 100% autonomous. This is insane. Even right there, getting ahead of that car. I wouldn't have done that, but there's plenty of room. It didn't cut him off. It got in here plenty of time. Saw the opportunity. If it didn't have the opportunity, it would have slowed down and went behind the car. Okay, now we're gonna have to merge onto a stopped freeway. This is typical of Las Vegas. The I-15 gets crazy down here by the strip. So we'll see how the car does it. Looks like they've got this lane closed, so we're gonna have to merge quick. There's gonna be a lot of drivers that don't want to let you in, so we'll see how it goes here. It says lane blockage. I'll have to go back and look at that. But that, I think that was a new alert I've never seen before. This will be fun, actually. I really want to see how the car handles other vehicles not letting us over, which is what's going to happen for sure. So it keeps wanting to get over, but that car to the left is not having it. So maybe we can get over right after it. Typically you do every other car except for, there's a lot of jerks in the road. Okay. It was a little jerky there. I almost pushed it through with the pedal, but then it started to move. So that was a close call. But we did get honked at and somebody skipped ahead.
Mm-hmm.